Hello and welcome to the podcast. It's episode 17. The world is a scary place at the moment. However, inspired by Trump, Erdogan and Putin, I wondered what it would be like if I ran a dictatorship. Bit of fun. Obviously, I do all the light-hearted stuff.
Yep, sure.
And the important stuff, like, pro-immigration, pro-EU, all that stuff. But here are the five most important things that I would do. The first thing I would do is change the national anthem to Lovin' You by Minnie Riperton. You know, the one that goes, Loving you is more than you. Yeah. The reason why I'd change it is just imagine England footballers shitting themselves as they got to the high note.
Yeah, don't mind it.
I think that's funny. I'd split every single pavement and pedestrian area into 2 lanes.
Oh,
right? One for groups, one for slow people with children, that would be the same lane,
yeah.
And then one for, the fast people in a rush and gay people.
never the kids and parents.
Always segregate gay people. It's one of the big parts of my manifesto, but in a positive way.
There's some joke in manifesto there.
My manifesto.
Right, next.
Could you
Number
man
3.
manifesto? Number 3. My dictatorship will be a pro-freedom of expression. My dictatorship will be a pro-freedom of expression dictatorship. As long as that expression isn't wearing your trousers so low that your boxers are hanging out. Sorry, lads, it looks ridiculous.
Here we go.
I'm such an old man.
You've got old.
I've got old. I'd ban non-headphone use in public spaces, including street performers. So street performance can only be mime and those little statues from now on. And I'd ban the watershed. That's number 5. I'd ban the watershed. Swearing to be allowed on daytime TV. We all want to see that episode of Bargain Hunt where they go, oh, for fuck's sake, when they don't make a profit.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
I don't mind that.
Anyway, welcome to the show. That's my day. Would you vote for me? Well, you'd have to. It's a dictatorship.
I was going to say I don't have a choice. Do I agree with your policies? I firmly and strongly believe with your split up to 2 lanes on a pavement. If you get to the top of a tube and stop, like you get out of a bit and you stop, fucking move one to the side.
Actually, I think it's something worse. Like you said, the people who walk up the tube escalators on the right, on the correct side,
yes,
on the left, they walk up and then they just stop at the top.
Yeah.
No, back yourself to judge your step correctly as you go up there.
Yeah, I just think I'm with you on the separate lanes. Can get on board with that. I think how we do it. Do you have, on the same side, do you have 2 separate lanes going and you can only walk in that direction and the other side of the road is only that direction?
I think it's the same as cycle lanes. You know how they do cycle lanes where they've just got the sort of one line in the middle? You have a group of a family and then a gay on the left-hand side.
And what happens?
Which could be a problematic sort of, like a one... You know how they do, like, disabled toilets have, like, that symbol?
Yeah.
We should have a symbol for families and a symbols for homosexuals.
What would the punishment be if people didn't adhere to it?
Very simple. Very... death.
Oh, okay.
No, it would be...
a real dictatorship?
No, I think it would be imprisonment for a while, but prisons would be reformed under my dictatorship.
To be what?
Basically Queer Eye. You know how they improve the lives of people?
Yeah.
They'll just Queer Eye every single prisoner. You came in with a murder? Come on now, let's sort out your hair. Come on.
I would say... have you watched the most recent episode?
Yes, I'm on episode 3.
The new Queer Eye, and I think Queer Eye is a lovely... the new iteration, not the old one. Do you remember the old one?
Oh, yeah, not like the 90s one.
Do you remember that? Where they were like, you're a fucking scum.
It was every single stereotype of every single thing thrown in at once, in one big horrible melting pot. Awful.
The new iteration is very nice. I actually think the new interior guy, Jeremiah, is...
I like the fact he cries a lot.
Oh, he's wonderful. I think he's lovely. My issue with this one is it's very, very... We're in Vegas. Let's do Vegas. And you're like, oh, right. You
I haven't really had many of that. I've only done 2 episodes so far, but it was good, and I really liked the transformations they did. They're so good.
Interesting that you said, when I asked where you were, you said you're on episode 3. Would I say I was on episode 3 if I had episode 3?
Yeah, I've done number 2, and I'm on episode 3.
Interesting, though, isn't it?
It is interesting.
Where would I be if you? Where am I in my episodes at the moment? I've got 2 more episodes of The Devil's Plan left to watch. There's 12 in a thing. Am I on episode 10?
The Devil's Plan. That sounds.
It's a South Korean.
Is it? It sounded a bit sort of sci-fi and fantasy for you.
No, it's not.
Well, not sci-fi, but fantasy.
It's very in my wheelhouse. It's like smart people quiz gaming and like having to.
Oh, that is the ultimate your wheelhouse.
Yeah, but it's in South Korean, so it's subtitled. So there's a lot of reading because it is that's not a language. You know, some languages are like, I'll just eat my beans here and I won't look at the screen. That's not a language you can.
There
guess.
are some. If you're watching something French or Spanish,
you think I've got.
You think, oh, I reckon I'll get a couple of Casablancas or whatever a word is in their language.
But no, it's South Korea. It's really, really fun.
Hard to do a guess in South Korea.
Oh, but occasionally they will. I saw your eyes go. That wasn't me going into an accent. That was me going, whoa, that is a tough accent to go for.
Yeah. There
are moments, though, where you're watching it and there are clearly words that they prefer to say in English. So occasionally it'll just drop in.
What a Lee Dixon moment for you, that was.
It wasn't, though.
I know it wasn't, but it's just like one of those things.
The issue is everyone's going to be wondering what that is.
The reason why it's funny is because it's not what you meant. And that's why it's funny.
Not at all.
Anyway, we must continue.
We must. So I'm on episode. I've got 2 more episodes of 12 episodes to go. Yeah, I'd be on episode 10.
I've got Never has there been a better advert to watch this on YouTube. Just the look of what are you doing here, mate? Is it good though?
Me and my partner have really enjoyed it. It is the people are extremely clever. Like and at one point they find this secret code that unlocks a. Is
it real life?
What?
Like, is it a drama with like people playing intelligent people, or is it like a Squid Gamey type? Like the real Squid Gamey type thing.
Yeah, I've never seen Squid Games.
No, I haven't seen I haven't seen any of them. But Squid Gamey, there's like a real Squid Game now, isn't there? Where they made Squid Game.
Yeah. It's I would say it's that, but you don't die. You just if you run out of pieces, you leave the game. It's really I'm really.
It sounds really up your street.
I'm really enjoying it. But yes, I'm on episode 10. So yeah, we agree on episode numbers. There was another thing in your manifesto. Run through them again. Number 1 was Minnie Riperton. Number 2 was The Pavement. Number 3.
Number 3 was Freedom of Expression with the baggy trousers falling down the arse. 4 was I'm gonna have to check now. 4 was non-headphone use in public transport, public spaces,
street performers, and number 5,
watershed being banned, being removed. No longer will there be a watershed. Do you know? I said about the watershed to my cousin. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, the watershed, and she was like, what's a watershed?
How old is your cousin?
She's in her early 20s.
So she didn't know that
she didn't know a watershed because she watches YouTube.
And she doesn't
watches YouTube and streaming platforms. So there is no watershed. And because she's never really properly watched like TV in the traditional sense anymore, all that's going out. People don't really understand the concept of a watershed now.
That's interesting.
Or maybe she just didn't.
Because YouTube?
Do YouTube?
YouTube doesn't particularly like swearing. As a platform, if you swear within the first 3 minutes, it's much harder to become monetized on YouTube. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's much harder. So that's why you will often...
Very hard to be taken off, though, if you're Piers Morgan.
No, sure. It's not like...
or Russell Brand.
It's not that you'll be taken down. It's just that if you... It's much harder to... It's basically they don't push your video as much.
What a way to butter your toast. Happy to popularise hate speech platforms, but, don't say fuck.
Yeah, so what a lot of people will do is they will say fuck, but as they do on TikTok, people often write fugging, don't they? Or whatever it is.
With the subtitling.
But in the subtitling, but also they'll drop the audio, or people don't even put a bleep over anymore. They drop the audio. So, yeah, that's that would be that... I would say that there's sort of a bit of a watershed on YouTube because of what it sort of pushes, but
it's not based on time.
But it's not
it's not like 9 p.m. Let's get your tits out, lads.
It was mad, wasn't it? What a mad thing.
The watershed still is. It still exists. Yeah. It's still funny when you see Mary Margulies on daytime TV and all of the presenters are just like, "What's she gonna say?"
Yeah. It reminds me of a bit in your show where we were in Brighton. you were on stage sort of riffing with a lovely audience. You had a lovely time.
This is a bit I used to have a bit of stand-up about, and then it didn't really work, so I left it. So I thought I'd bring it to the podcast, the graveyard of ideas.
And you went on stage, oh, we shouldn't have swear. Why are some words bad? Some words shouldn't be bad. And then in your head, you clearly thought, oh, some words are bad, though. And you're like...
Of course, the one with historical context.
Yeah. The audience were like, has he just had a breakdown?
Yeah.
Like mid...
Yeah.
sort of...
What a gig.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I enjoyed Brighton.
Yeah, so did I.
I had a lovely old time. But yes, how's your week been? I realise that we've just been riffing on your manifesto.
It's been a good week. I've actually done stuff. I went to my mum and my brother came up.
Yes.
To London, and it was really nice. Went to an art gallery, which we went to an art gallery once. We went to Tate Modern, and you would have fucking hated it.
Where did you go?
So we went Tate Modern first, then we went to a restaurant, which I'll come on to.
Sure.
Tate Modern, we went to watch. We went to look at a museum, not a museum, an art gallery. I think it was not Anthony McGill. That's a snooker player. Anthony Muck something.
Very much the Richard Herring of art installation.
But it was basically using light and using smoke to make light feel like it's a physical thing. It was really quite cool.
I wouldn't mind that.
Kids loved it. We then went into the thing that I think you would have really hated was we thought there were, I can't remember the artist's name, and we thought that they were sort of like
it's a running theme.
Yeah, it's a running theme. Names, but we thought they were playing with snow, and actually it was moulding, and we were wondering what they were doing. And then we saw one picture of them pissing into the moulding, and then we looked to the left, and they have got all of the piss splats like.
What?
So they piss into like a moulding thing, and then it will set. No. And then it will set. And
who urinates into it?
Two artists.
The artist.
Yeah, the artist.
You had
not me.
Yeah,
no, sorry to not make that clear. So the artist and a friend, by the looks of things, were doing female and male pissing into these to sort of see the difference of the splash via molds. So you see like the physical splash. I mean, it looked kind of cool. It looked kind of volcanic. But it was sort of one of those things that you, with your mum and your brother, and you're like, that's an interesting... They are similar, not to you, because they do sort of get art from a conceptual perspective, and you don't. You're just like, why is it just a line, or why is it just a
why is it all white?
I could do that.
I could do white.
Well, I could do that, but you forget that thinking happens. They get thinking happens, but then they'll ridicule it loudly in every single space, because my family don't do things quietly.
Oh, I should have gone with them.
You would have liked it.
Yeah.
Because people are sort of seriously looking at the art and considering it, and my mum and my brother are not. They're ridiculing it, and I'm there trying to sort of toe the line of. I don't want. I'm equally kind of like I'm not really into this version of modern art, but I'm also respectful enough to know that some people are. Whereas that's just not the West Country way.
Was it a quiet room as well?
Yeah, very quiet. Even though there was a lot of people in there, it was very quiet.
This is a lovely...
All considering the piece.
This is lovely piss splash.
Yes, and then Adam, sort of, my brother, sort of looking... There was a really nicely done. There was like a big wall sculpture of like ovulation, and it sort of showed the sort of different sort of... It used like a scan of ovulation, like different parts of it, and then made it physical. It looked really cool. Really liked that. But Adam is just cannot not be serious at what some of those things looked like.
Right.
Oh, that looks like a surfboard, for instance.
Okay.
You're like, great.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are like, this is like, there's a real thing. There's really good thought that's gone into this piece of art. You're like,
I'm a. How long do I have to look at this piece of art to look like I've got it?
do you read?
Not really.
I've never been a big reader. Now I've started to read in art, and it does help.
I just don't.
It does give you an idea of where they were coming from.
Make something. A
literal picture made out like you like realism.
Yeah, I went to a Japanese art exhibition which was hyper-realistic food. So it's food that they put outside restaurants to show what the food looks like. That was incredible because everything looked like what it should look like.
I think most people love hyper-realism and realism as a thing. I think it's much harder to understand or grasp surrealism or abstract art or postmodernism and things like that.
Yeah. So you went to the art gallery.
Yes, and I love art, by the way. I did an art degree. I'm sort of into it. And then we went to a cafe. Went to a restaurant called Cafe
Mode?
de Noir in
I don't know.
Dans le Noir. Cafe dans le Noir.
Cafe in the dark.
So Cafe in the Dark, something like that. Sorry to the place, because it was a wonderful experience. It was so I don't think I've spoken to you about this.
I've not heard about it at all.
So it's a restaurant ran by partially sighted and blind people, and it's a very simple concept. You go into a room and you cannot see a thing. So
is there like a compression chamber? Is there like a less light, no light? Or
no,
you are...
I mean, you walk up the stairs and it's starting to get dimmer lights, but it's not like it's not that progressive. Then it's just like a little.
It's not that progressive. Just men and women's toilets.
Yeah. Oh, you go to the toilet before because I had to go. We'll get onto that.
Okay.
Basically, it's a room that is completely dark, and they basically take your hand and they put it on the shoulder, and they know where they're going. They know absolutely.
Who is they?
So the waiters and waitresses, or waiters generally.
Yeah.
They just guide you, and they tell you where you're going, and they go, right, you just walk a normal pace with me, and then they guide you completely to your seats. They go, right, your seat's going to be in front of you now on your left. Feel to your left.
Oh, great!
And then you're going to have to sit down. Now, if you feel in front of you, you'll see that the end of the table is there. That's your plate, and you've got your water here, and the water bottle is over there, and you can pour your own water.
Fuck that.
Well, we all did it.
Got your fingers in the water.
So you have to put your finger in the cup
to
judge how much water's gone in. It was brilliant. And you are so disorientated when you walk in and you sit down and you try your first course, and you will never eat closer to a plate. That's one thing I say: you will never ever eat closer to a plate. The food was delicious. They don't tell you what you're eating though. So if you're very
whoa! I'm in a dark room.
Whoa!
Hang on! I'm in a dark room. I don't know what I'm gonna fucking eat, mate. This sounds like a con.
No, it's great. It's brilliant food, but they won't tell you what's in it. So you just have to...
What about people with allergies?
Oh, yeah.
Best of luck, mate.
You specify allergies. They
Okay.
ask before whether you're allergic, and we're not. So because we're better.
Yeah,
we're better than anyone with allergies. Fuck you and your pretend allergies. Oh, I can't eat gluten. It's a lie. Explode your stomachs. Anyway, so they ask you, and you just have like a set menu. And
they just bring it over.
And they bring it over, and it's a brilliant discussion thing. Because then me and my mum and brother are all trying to work out what we're eating. Because we can taste it, and we're getting the flavours and the textures.
How this is my questions about this are going to be. I don't think they'll be strange. How big is the place, or do you not know?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's really unusual how quickly you get adjusted to it, and you get adjusted to it's very calming. Like, you just feel quite relaxed.
Yeah.
And then you end up tuning into what's happening around you a bit more. So you're starting to listen to. Unfortunately, we had a loud table.
As in next to you?
We got into the sort of the early bit before we get taken through to the dark room, and they had to be told to be quiet 3 times by the staff because they were just people who didn't have a quiet voice. 4 people very excited to see each other and wanted everyone in the world to know.
Sure.
I think, and this was in Clerkenwell, you could genuinely hear them in Brighton.
Right,
they were so loud, and unfortunately we got sat right next to the loud table, and me, my mum and my brother are loud.
I was going to say, you're quite loud.
And they were loud for us.
Yeah.
And we're loud. And the great thing is that my mum will listen to the conversation and go, oh, they don't know what they're eating yet. And we're like, okay, don't ruin the game for them. Because we speak loudly. And this is not just a mum thing. I do the same, and my brother. So then you eat...
Knife and fork?
Knife and fork. I did knife and fork. My mum and my brother decided to stick to a bit of hand and a bit of fork.
Yeah.
So they were guiding the food onto their... And it's great because no one can see you because you can just do whatever you want, really.
How do you know when you're finished the food?
So I was getting better with my knife at the end because you can sort of, if you tap like the fork or the knife around the plate, you can sort of feel if you hit food. So you can sort of then do it that way. And I sort of wanted to fully commit to the experience of knife and fork. So I was like trying to use them. Harder with the dessert. That was the hardest.
What was it?
Thing to eat. I don't want to ruin it, just in case people do
Would
go.
you give it away?
Yeah, I don't, because I think they'll have the same menu for a bit. So I don't want to give away what I ate. There was a cold element.
Yeah.
But there was lots of elements. Each dish had quite a few elements.
How do you...
Delicious food, though.
How do you get your waiter's attention if you wanted to order another
Hello?
Do you actually?
Genuinely. My brother found it so funny because I said, can I go to the toilet, please?
Like you're in school.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, of course. I said, and took me out, and the toilets aren't in the dark. They're all in the light. So
I bet that was weird on your eyes, though.
Not too bad. It's surprisingly easy on your eyes. Because you're not going in. It's not like you're going out
in the dark.
It's not like you're going out into like an airport. Do you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you get off an airport and it's all just like, fuck, here's the day. You're sort of like going down a relatively dimly lit restaurant. It was wonderful. I would so recommend it. It's not the cheapest thing to do, but it is really fun.
Do you have... Is your waiter for the whole thing?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
sure.
And she was absolutely brilliant. She was so helpful and so incredibly. They also, because obviously there's about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 waiters wandering around the same small space. So they have they do say coming through, coming through left, coming
Behind
through right.
you,
So they say they've got a really good system. There was one point where we heard a bit of a crash at the back, but that we thought, I'm amazed that doesn't happen more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I could not believe the way they just handed the plates perfectly in front of you, said you're going to have an oblong plate, and she would have to lean over and sort of
not hit the glasses,
not hit anything. And there's glasses of wine and everything else was around as well. So it was like there was wine pairings and stuff. If you drink, I had mocktails, which I don't really like cocktails anyway, so it was the wrong choice for me.
Yeah.
I should have just gone with non-alcoholic lager.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I just could not recommend it enough as an experience.
That sounds very exciting.
Gives you a whole new appreciation for vision, but also you sort of see. Obviously, there are huge issues with not being able to see.
Yep.
That's a given.
That's a hot take on this, by the way.
But yeah, as a hot take, but it does give you a sort of a calming. It's so calming not being able to see because it really means that you focus on your other senses. It meant you tasted more. It is in this. There's a benefit to it.
Yeah.
So
well, that sounds lovely.
It was a really good experience.
That
I
sounds
really
nice.
loved it.
I'd love to go. I need to check whether I can eat there.
You probably can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had lots of different menus.
Because I've been a veggie for a long old time now, and I know that you are back on the meat hype.
Back on the meat.
What
meat.
Did you? I'm finding that there's part of me that's like, maybe I will if I went travelling somewhere, or if I went on holiday somewhere where eating meat is kind of...
That's the slippery slope, my friend. That's what I started with.
Your Japans or your South Americas, you kind of... Meat is hard.
When you are gluten-free as well...
Exactly.
I think it's way harder to be vegetarian and out and abroad, particularly.
Out?
Like out and about, like out of the house. Like you can do all that in the house. You can sort it out, but out of the house it's much harder.
So there's part of me that's thinking, oh well, maybe I'll. If I were to go there, I'd eat again, or I would eat it while I wouldn't ever buy meat again. I don't think, but there is part of me that thinks the first bit of meat I have to eat, having not eaten it for 12 years, maybe, has got to be fucid good.
I also think... Why did you stop? Because that was the question I asked myself first. Why did you stop eating meat?
So I don't eat... why did I stop eating meat? Mostly because I don't think I could kill an animal and eat the meat. And actually, I quite like animals. It was as simple as that. And that still retains now. That still stays sort of where I am. I also think as well, like, I really enjoy cooking. It's easy to make meat taste nice. It's harder to just bang a carrot in. And
it does make. Do you know what it makes you? Now I cook meat again. It makes you realise how much flavour you can pack into things.
Yeah.
And it makes the rest of your food so much more delicious. Like everything. I made a roast chicken with. I baked a potato and mashed the baked potato because it just is a better flavour with ghee.
Ghee.
Yeah. So I had a bit of garam masala over the chicken as well, and. It was just really nice. It was a really good dish, and I was like, I've put so much flavour into the vegetables and the other elements that it's just made this. Those are the bits you sort of throw to the side when you've got meat. You're like, well, I've got a delicious thing. I'll just have the carrot. But because when you're a vegetarian, you have to just fucking focus on all of those bits of. So it makes you a better chef to go veggie for a bit.
I used to when I ate meat, I would eat meat three times a day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And as you say, it would just be like, I'll have a pork chop for dinner, and really, you don't worry about the rest of it. But what was the first bit of meat you had when you got back? Was it like a burrito?
I can't remember because the way I did it was I started eating meat when I was out. So when I was out and about,
Sure,
I
okay.
would start to eat meat. If I was away on holiday, I'd start to eat
Yeah.
meat because it made just ordering easier
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. So it was more for ease. And also when I was going home, because my mum loves cooking, and my mum is such a good cook, and she always cooks vegetarian food when I go home. And I was sort of like, I feel a bit bad because you are doing like double the work, and also I really miss the dishes. And then I was like, why did I give up meat? And it was just a challenge for me. It wasn't so much tied to whether I could kill an animal or not, which I definitely couldn't. By the way, could not do that, not even slightly.
Morally or physically?
On both parts.
Bit of both.
But I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, I just couldn't do it.
Especially not with Christopher kicking around.
Not
If
with-
people don't know who Christopher is, by the way, that's his cat.
You know, I for some people that's important. For me, it's not, and everyone's different. And for me, I thought, well, do you know what? There's no really good reason. I think there was a sustainability lens on it at the first thing, but I thought, do you know what? I don't eat loads of meat. I'm one person. I'll just eat out.
Yeah.
And then started giving up booze and smoking.
And you thought,
I
gotta
thought,
replace
I
it with something.
I can't be non-booze, non-smoking, and not have something free in my life. Everything in my life is restricted when it comes to food and drink. I was like, and like recreational time. I was like, I just need to lift some restrictions on myself.
Yeah.
So I began smoking again.
Yeah, well done. Smoking your hams.
Yeah, smoking my hams. Yeah, I don't smoke. I'm 2 and a bit years now.
Great.
Almost 2 years in May for drinking as well.
Really?
We'll have an alcohol-free
episode.
we'll have a celebration of soberness.
Of your soberness.
Sobriety, because we are both sober.
Yeah, it's interesting. We can do a proper episode on that. As somebody who's never drunk, I would say I don't get any credit for it. Not that I want. I'm joking. I'm taking the piss.
That was too loud.
You've seen the waveforms.
Seen the waveforms in front of me.
You've seen that's too loud.
That was too loud.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued. I when we went to India, that was like my perfect.
Well, it's so much vegetarian food in India.
The flight was incredible because they brought over this gluten-free meal, and obviously everything's vegetarian, and it was like the most perfect curry I've ever had, but on a flight. Oh, it was so good.
You and curry. It's real love affair.
I love curry.
Oh, I love it.
I started dancing the other night at home. I was like,
what, are you starting salsa?
No, at home when I found out.
I could not imagine you doing salsa.
No, I'd be so bad at salsa.
Do you know, the thing is, I don't think you'd... I wonder, actually, would you be self-conscious dancing?
What type of dancing?
Any.
No,
Nightclub, different. Everyone's
what about a
wankered.
wedding?
It doesn't matter.
Because at a wedding, I
Right.
love getting on a dance floor.
So this is the environment I'm going to give you. Ready?
Okay.
You're at a wedding.
Yeah.
But it's Scottish Gaelic dancing.
Oh, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Yep, done it. Happy. Well up for it.
I've done it as well. It's weird. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, loved it.
Okay.
Loved. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
No, you do it.
Loved the Kaylee and loved getting to know people really briefly. That is where I'm in my
Yeah.
element. Hello, how are you? Lovely to meet you. How do you know them? That's so cool. On to the next. I loved
it's
all
like
that.
Speed friending.
Dating. And there was a few people that I was like, I'll come back to you.
You've got a vibe.
thing.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Kaylee.
Whereas if it's people you don't know and you think they're all quite hot, you go, "Are you gay?" in your head. Lie to me. You've got good arms. And then you on to you on to the next one.
I didn't do that, but I did it. I really enjoyed Kayleeing. I would say it's quite tiring. So I did sit out when he was doing.
It's like a body pump.
Yeah.
Body pump at a wedding.
It's Zumba. It's
and a Scottish body pump.
Zumba for the Scots.
Zumba for the Scots. with a pint of Tennent's afterwards.
Loved it though. Well up for that.
Okay. Next scenario. You are going to a ballroom dancing room, learning to dance with a person you don't know. So it would be ballroom dancing. So it could be any of the ballroom.
What's the question? Would I be embarrassed?
Would you feel nervous and anxious about it?
Not about doing it. I would want to be all right at it. I wouldn't like the period where I'm not very good at it. So that
would be the beginning.
Which would be most of it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's fucking hard. But I retain the view that if you gave me 2 weeks, I would be able to bang out a dance on Strictly.
See, we've got wacky limbs.
I've got long.
We've got
yeah,
wacky limbs.
Yeah.
Like my limbs bend all over the place. You've got longer limbs than your body can handle.
But that, my
Oh, you're going to shake your hips though. If you got a salsa week 1 of Strictly, I would be so fucking happy. I'd be like, please get him in a netted top.
Oh god, you've got to be in all right shape for a netted top. I don't want to look like an orange pushing out of a bit of like a net.
Do you not like a satsuma in a Christmas? Yeah. They should get you that red sort of satsuma netting for your tights.
As you sort of like just flesh pushes through it.
I don't know. That's the kind of thing that they would do because it would amuse the world, wouldn't it?
As the comic on the show, you'd probably have to do something.
You'd have to do something humiliating. It's humiliating enough that you have to do Strictly to make your career just better.
Well, I mean,
I would do it in a heartbeat because I think it would be fun. Would I go for a male or a female partner?
Do you get to choose? I bet you do get to
choose.
You do.
Gays get to choose. Come on. Come on. They're not going to force a woman on you, are they? That would ruin the Strictly curse.
Who would you go for?
Who would be... So, male, I think... Because I'm 6 foot, so I can't go with one of the shorter guys, even though my brain is telling the fit one.
No, we're not doing this on
really
fitness.
hot Spanish one whose name escapes me.
Gorka.
I think his name's Gorka.
Do you think you would go for a male?
I'm going to do both and see. So if it was a male, Gorka.
Okay.
Because I reckon I could lift him. And then because you'd have to do the lifts and stuff. And I think if it was too big, they would be relying on me to be lifted. And I'm not a light person.
I think they'd be all right though. They're professional dancers.
Yeah, but lifting 85 kilograms above your head isn't.
I think they'd be all right.
Do you reckon they could? That's bloody unbelievable.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that's. I want to be able to do the lifts because that would be the fun bit for me. So I think I'd rather be paired with a lady. So I would. I don't know which one. All of them seem nice.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They all seem just lovely.
I think I would feel... Would I feel self-conscious? No. Would I want to get better at the dancing? Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does.
What about you? Are you nervous dancing?
I would be very nervous going to a ballroom, having never danced before and with people I don't know. But I wouldn't do it.
Isn't the fact that they don't know you, isn't the fact, like, you can just, if you hated it or if you felt you were shit, which I don't think is the right attitude, but if you felt you were really bad and you just could not go back.
It's interesting because in comedy, yes, I want no one I know in the audience. Yeah. That's the dream. You go there, full room, no one knows you. Yeah. Lovely stuff. That's the dream of any comedian. With doing an activity like that, sometimes you sort of want a pal who is also in the same environment, doesn't really know. In the same way when we went to play football for the first time.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's nice to have you there because we hadn't done it with this group before. Whereas I did it on my own with an 11-a-side team, and I was really nervous for a good, probably about 3 months of doing it. Yeah, I did. The nerves didn't really ever subside. I still dreaded a Tuesday, but I still went because I was like, because as soon as I got there, I enjoyed it. It's the same thing with anything. It's like one of those things like, oh god, I've got to be with people, and surprisingly, it's not my strength when it's an environment that's stressful like that.
Yeah. No, I how do we get onto this?
I don't know. It's nice, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
just really meandering
nice.
Through a chat.
How did we
how have we done podcasting without a plan?
Yeah. How did we get onto dancing though? We were talking about India. We're talking about India.
Certainly wasn't the dancing in India.
No,
although Bollywood.
Yeah, I didn't get involved.
I just said the word, although Bollywood's a dancing.
I didn't get involved in any of the dancing in India, but that is partly because nobody got involved. But one thing I did get involved with was we went to a women's refuge where they were being given a place to work and they were cooking food. And so we were in Kerala. Kerala rice. They said at the start, they gave a bit of a spiel that was like, you won't get full on Kerala rice. And I thought, oh yeah, it's all T's and C's, bit of rubbish.
So just to give an idea of are you going to give an idea of what Kerala rice is?
Yes, it's rice, but the water content is much higher than like basmati rice. It absorbs so much more of the water, I believe. So it feels...
a bit like whole grain rice, where it never really feels like it absorbs any water. And then you eat it and you're like, nutty.
It was so good. And there was a group of maybe 12 of us there. And there were 4 ladies who were coming around and we had our little like thalis being made for us. It was amazing.
I need to go to India.
It was incredible. But they absolutely loved me and made a beeline for me because I never said no to any food that came.
No, you're very good with that anyway. You're not fussy. The only thing you have to be fussy about is your gluten stuff.
And so they covered all that off, and they were very much like, well, you can't have this, we won't give you this. So that then meant they were like, but we'll give you like 14 poppadoms. And I was like, stack them on.
Did you have the famed shits?
No. We went to India, and on the first day, we arrived, we went out for some food at a place that was considered sort of safe for Westerners. And then in the evening, my partner was like, let's find somewhere else. We walked into this place. I can't tell you how, like, it was basic.
It was rural.
It was basic. We'd walked through some streets and there was an amazing sort of like light show, candle. It was beautiful. It was amazing. We walked into this place and...
You went to real Kerala.
We went to this real. It was called like Dave's restaurant. Real Kerala. Equivalent.
Yes.
And we ordered. I ordered some chana masala rice. My partner ordered some lentil dal. We had so much food, and the fridge was kind of like by where we were sat. So all of the ingredients are kind of in the. And I was like, I am going to get ill here. This is where you get ill. The water. Sort of at one point they were like, no, it's bottled, and I was like, is it though? And they were like, yeah, and I was like, okay, and we just sort of went for it. Mate, it cost us like £2 for the whole meal, and it was some of the best food I've ever eaten.
I've never spoken to anyone who has not just loved India.
Oh, it was amazing.
There's always the disclaimer of there are parts that are really busy and it can be quite stressful.
We didn't do that
but
part.
There's everyone who I've ever known who's gone to India has just said it's wonderful.
I loved it. The food was fantastic, and didn't get the shits. Managed to avoid them.
So there we go, listeners. Go to India. You may not get the shits.
Yeah, go to Kerala was great, just brilliant, and these ladies were just so in awe of the fact that I didn't stop eating. And to be fair,
you're great with that. You have a bottomless stomach.
Yeah, I can just sort of crack on. On the bus on the way back, I am.
I've gone a bit overboard.
Yeah,
actually. I got a bit. To be honest, they egged me on.
I've done that for show.
They've devil egged me on.
I've done probably 3 more portions than I needed. Because it felt like I was being nice to these ladies who'd come over and sort of rub my stomach.
And they're probably going, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they were like, we need this.
We need this for the next fucking
this
table.
This is our food for later. Like the very hungry caterpillar.
Yeah, we'll give it to you. Give me more. Just like the Western guy, just like, feed me. Well, on that note, can I do a recommendation for this week?
Yeah?
I'm not sure if you've heard of it, guys. Adolescence?
Oh, yeah.
But I've also watched Toxic Town. I've just started watching Toxic Town. 3 episodes in, same writer.
Right. I've made the decision I'm not going to watch either.
So you haven't watched Adolescence?
No.
Oh, it's good.
I've heard, but
it is good.
So
Why are you being... This is a bit like me with It's a Sin, and then eventually I watched it and it was amazing.
So the reason I think I'm not going to watch it is because I feel like the hype has gone.
What a shit reason to not watch something. Sorry, that's so annoying.
I think the hype is
such
gone,
an annoying thing to...
And I also have heard that it's quite sad.
You can only watch something with hype?
No, I want to watch...
I need hype. Oh, can't miss out on the hype.
I want to watch stuff without any hype. So I will watch it in 2 to 3 years on my own, and I'll come to you and I'll say, you were right, I probably should have watched it at the time.
It's one shot, mate.
I don't care about one shot. Have you heard of acting? Have you heard of fucking theatre?
Oh God, I didn't know you were going to have a hill to die on with Adolescence.
No, I haven't.
I thought you were going to be...
I am.
I thought, to be honest, I thought you'd watched it.
I'm bang on board with Adolescence. I've heard it's great. I'm well up for it. Amazing.
But you're very pro Manosphere.
The one shot is... What?
You love the Andrew Tates. That's why. You're an Andrew Tate defender.
I don't know what it's about.
You're like, no, not Adolescence. Men are fine.
I don't know what it's about. The one-shot thing does baffle me, though. That's like the huge selling point.
Mate, honestly, the acting in episode 3 is some of the best acting I've ever seen. If you watch
Coronation Street.
Yes.
It's not hard.
Tracy Barlow isn't a good actor, but she's got quite a good character. We're fine with that. But...
Carry on. I do genuinely want to hear why you like it.
I have watched things. I do know what acting's like. I've watched quite a bit of things. As long as it's a TV drama, I'll watch it. I've watched Line of Duty. I know good acting.
You were disappointed by the end of Line of Duty, as we all were.
Yeah. Anyway. It wasn't... Hey. Anyway, it's hard to end that series.
Yeah,
it's hard to end that series. Either way, I
I've
just
heard
think the acting, it's more the child acting.
Yeah.
So hard to get good child actors. This young lad who has never acted before.
That is amazing.
Is going to be a big, big star.
Do you think maybe he's...
No, he will be a big, big
Really?
star. It's not a chance he's not going to be. It's a bit like About a Boy. You know when that came out and everyone was like, Nicholas Hoult is going to be a very good actor, and was.
And is.
And still is. To be fair, I haven't seen the Mad Maxi type fucking build a fucking machine thing. All of that bollocks. Not seen it, but I'm sure he does a wonderful job on it. This guy's going to be massive.
He was in Skins.
And the Scouse man, who's
Stephen Graham.
He's good.
You are dog shit with names.
I'm very bad at actors and names.
You called it out.
The psychologist in episode 3, I don't know. I think she was in maybe Downton Abbey or something like that.
Oh, mate. Right.
Honestly, the plot of that, just one shot in a room, and in one sort of, as Richard Osman described it, it's a featureless room, which I think is such a good way of describing... Oh, no, that was Alistair Campbell's very easy mistake to make. Or Rory Stewart, one of them, said that it was a featureless room, and I thought that's such a great way of describing what the room was like, because you are just focused entirely on the give and take of the psychologist and the child, and fucking hell, not a single misplaced line. It was so good.
Oh, you kind of have convinced me. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll retract. We'll come back.
It's just really good. It's 4 episodes.
It's sad though, right?
Yeah, of course it is. But it's like, in a way, it's eye-opening. In a way, it's dark. It's not light.
Yeah.
But it's sort of also not impossible to watch without. You can feel fine afterwards.
Okay.
Like you're not going to feel sad for the rest of the week.
Fine.
Like some things that I've watched. It's a sin.
Yeah, I mean, great.
That made me sad for a week.
Great. Yeah.
That last episode. That's how you do a last episode.
That is how you do a last episode. Anyway, I reckon that's it for today. I reckon we've hit our
40 minutes.
we actually have.
We have. Guys, it's always a pleasure to see you. If you do want to like this and subscribe to it, please do. You can in all the usual places. You can also do watch it on YouTube. It would help us. We're also going to put the video up. We might have seen. We've been putting the videos up on Spotify. That may or may not happen for this one, or has happened on this one. Do let us know if you like that, because
I think we'll try it.
It's a bit of added effort, but I'm enjoying it. It's fine.
Yeah, I say we'll try. I think you'll try.
I'll try it. The old fucking the machine that is me. The old fucking
old AI bot Parsons.
Yeah, the old workshopper. I feel like an Amazon worker.
But anyway,
do take the credit.
I didn't take the credit. I passed it on to you.
Yeah, you did, fair play.
And if we make any money, you can have 55% of it.
No, this is like a start-up, mate. We'll lose money for the first 6 to 7 years until finally someone big shares it.
Fingers crossed for the big share. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We do really appreciate it, and it's been lovely to have you. It's always a pleasure. Never a chore. Be good yourself.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.